Hello, everybody, and welcome to LRM Ranks It, the show where we take our favorite movies, video games, TV shows, things involved with geek stuff, and we rank them. And my opinion is more important than my guests, but I still insist on having guests so that way it makes me look better.
Yeah.
And today I'm joined by none other than Nick Doll. Say what's up, Nick.
Hey, everybody.
Today we're going to actually be discussing something a little different. We're going after a specific director. We kind of did that with our Kevin Smith View Askew universe, but we only did Kevin's View Askew universe. We didn't do everything that Kevin Smith has done. This time we're going to go with the great Steven Spielberg directed films, and we're picking our top 5. What do you think about Steven Spielberg in general, Nick?
He's my favorite director. I absolutely love him.
Your
I've continued to
absolute
love
favorite.
him, and I've loved him since I was a child.
He is great. He does amazing movies, and I think me and you might have one in common on our list. So definitely ready to get down to it. And Nick, go ahead and start us off with your number 5.
All right, my number 5 is Minority Report, starring Tom Cruise. I didn't pick it because it stars Tom Cruise. It really is one of Spielberg's top 5. I think it's horribly underrated. It's his most recent film on my list because he's kind of lost that action bug. He still has the magic for here, mostly. Exceptions like being Ready Player One. Obviously, he does a lot more dramas now. It's a really great sci-fi tale that you've obviously, if you've never heard of it, you've seen some of its inventions come to life regardless. Because it's one of the best movies at predicting the future that we've had recently with Spielberg, like getting real people to help him. Of course, it has real Tom Cruise stunts. There has to be CGI because of the subject matter. But I mean, it's just a fun, murder mystery where he's the one who supposedly commits a murder in the future of someone he has not met yet. So it's fun.
Yeah, there's been multiple things in science fiction that have borrowed from that. There's a hilarious episode of Futurama in which they use the idea of Minority Report, and also Civil War 2 in the Marvel Comics kind of borrowed the whole, should we go stop crimes before they happen? Can somebody be guilty of something they haven't committed yet? I'm not a big fan of Minority Report, but hey, it is cool to see the stunts, of course, and it was a fairly groundbreaking film when it comes to graphics, and it is Steven Spielberg, so by all means, people go check it out if you haven't. My number 5 is actually starring one of my favorite actors, another Tom, but this Tom is Hanks, not Cruise. And it's Catch Me If You Can. I'm one of those people that loves Tom Hanks from back in the 80s with his comedy movies like The Burbs and Money Pit, Turner Hooch, things like that. And Catch Me If You Can has a great, fun story. It's based on a true story. Leonardo DiCaprio does an amazing job as the con man. It's a fun action adventure type film. It's really great to sit there and watch. And even though they took some embellishments, of course, from the actual history, from the real story, it's really cool to see what this guy did and how the Treasury, FBI, and all these other entities couldn't catch this young kid who was just super smart and super sly. Wonderfully acted by Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio. It was one of the it took me a while to actually see the movie because I was put off by Leonardo DiCaprio's teen fangirl status from Titanic. So Titanic. And so it took me a while to see it, but once I did, I freaking loved it. So yeah, that's my number 5. Catch Me If You Can.
Great choice. I love it. Who doesn't like Tom Hanks? And yeah, I really like how almost swashbuckling that movie feels like it is without actually being like an action movie.
Without
No guns
swords and guns or something like that. Yeah. Well, go ahead and continue on with your number 4.
Number 4 is Jurassic Park from 1993. Lives up 100%. You've heard of it. You've seen it. You've been seeing it for 20 years. It holds up. Special effects are great.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of a lesson in tension. I like to tell people that. Where even when there's not a dinosaur around, there's like a new issue always developing, whether it's a fence being slowly turned on and the characters on it, or the car falling out of the tree. And it's just one of those movies where you never feel safe because it always feels like there could be a velociraptor just off camera.
There could always be a clever girl somewhere
exactly.
off camera. Yeah,
and again, like so many of those classic lines come from that movie. Hold on to your butts.
Yeah.
Just my favorite scene.
I say that.
Oh, my favorite scene is the flea circus scene, where Hammond is telling, and you see an old man's dream dying, and that he's not willing to let go, and it's causing other people to die, and it's you kind of understand him, but it's like heartbreaking and it's the wrong decision. But
Yeah. It's definitely a great movie, and what I was going to say I'll save for a little later on because it's on my list, but it's a little bit higher. My number 4 is definitely a swashbuckling film, and it stars Robin Williams as Peter Panning, also Peter Pan in the great Hook. Absolutely love Hook. Great fun sequel to the Peter Pan story. The Lost Boys are hilarious. It doesn't age as well as some kids' movies do. I wouldn't put it up there on the same pedestal as Goonies, but it's definitely close. I mean, it's great. It's a fun movie. And Robin Williams is just hilarious in it. I mean, Robin Williams was a great actor, great comedy actor, did several decent dramas. And so always enjoy the overwhelming majority of his movies. And of course, Dustin Hoffman as Hook is just great. I love it. I can't find anything wrong with the movie. So Hook comes in at number 4 for me.
I saw that in college most recently. Obviously, I've seen it as a kid. Loved it as a kid. I feel like that you're always saying movies don't hold up. I feel like that one really doesn't hold up.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess it's like the nostalgia or something as from a kid that I love it so much.
Yeah, that might be it. But yeah, Rufio. That's all I really have.
Also, a great little pop punk band named Rufio.
Nice. Oh, and then you forgot Bob Hoskins as Smee.
Yep, absolutely. Smee is great. I love the scene where he's threatening to commit suicide and he's like, don't try to stop me. He's like, okay, I'm not going to try to stop you. Okay, no, come here and stop me. Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and continue on with your number 3.
Number 3 is Jaws. Sharks.
I wanted to put that on my list.
What?
I said I wanted to put that on my list, but I didn't.
Yeah, I couldn't not. It's on number 3. I don't know. It's Spielberg's first blockbuster. It's the first blockbuster. And it's just it's almost it's scarier than Jurassic Park, but at least you can get out of the water. In Jurassic Park, you're kind of surrounded. But it actually has the same theme as Jurassic Park, like man versus beast or man versus nature, some unstoppable foe, and you don't see the shark very often due to limitations, which really helps the movie. And again, I think it ranks above Jurassic Park. It has even more heart than Jurassic Park. Just the relationship between those 3 men for the last hour, and then just the scene with Chief Hopper, right? Hooper?
Yeah.
And his son, where he's doing I always confuse it with the Stranger Things sheriff. Where he's the kid imitating the things he's doing with his hands, his dad, and it's really touching. No dialogue, just like Spielberg showing the family dynamic and the father-son relationship. He likes a lot.
It is a great movie. Yeah, absolutely. It is a great movie, and it definitely set a lot of standards for filmmaking and showed some ingenuity in how to work with special effects that weren't working the way they were meant to. Definitely. Jaws is a great movie. Didn't quite make my list, but what did at number 3 is Ready Player One. I'm a huge fan of this movie. I absolutely love everything about it. I think me and you discussed it. Yeah, we did. We discussed it a little bit ago on our top 5 of 2018.
Multiple times.
It made my list on that one. Yeah. And I love the movie. It's great. It's not just the nostalgia factor for it. I love the Easter eggs and the 80s nostalgia for it, but, and not just 80s, there's other things. There's stuff from Star Wars. There's stuff from Battlestar Galactica. And it's just such a good Spielberg movie. It really shows a lot of heart in it. You can watch that from beginning to end, and if you didn't know it was from Steven Spielberg, you'd be like, that felt like a Steven Spielberg movie, and you'd be absolutely correct. And it does. It makes it to number 3 on my list.
Yeah, I was afraid I wouldn't like it because of the amount of CGI, but again, I guess we keep saying heart. But Spielberg delivers that heart for sure there with that relationship between Simon Pegg's character and Mark Rylitz's character, which is,
absolutely.
It
was great. It was interesting.
Movie, like always. All movies make me cry.
Yeah, I know. You and Jam are both. Anyways, go ahead and tell us what your... I don't know. Maybe I'm just a heartless person. Nah, whatever. It's all good. What is your number 2?
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The best buddy movie. Or father-son movie, even. We're getting your Sean Connery and your Harrison Ford. It's far more comedic than Raiders, and even Temple of Doom, especially Temple of Doom. But I mean, it's fun. You got Nazis as the bad guys. What can beat that? It's another thrilling Jones
Hate
adventure
Nazis.
with all the trappings of the first one. You got stunts like him riding a horse against a tank. You got gags like him shooting 4 Nazis with once accidentally because the bullet goes through all of them. Marcus Brody has a much bigger role here. He was a very underutilized character from the first film that you love. And I know Kyle doesn't like Indiana Jones that much. Well, he likes it. He's
It's
just
not
not
that
a
I
big
don't
fan.
like it. I just yeah, it's they're nothing to me. They're meh.
But
They're fine. They're not bad. They're just they're there.
nothing for me. I mean, well, what's the tagline of the first one? Adventure has a name, and it's
Yeah.
yeah, and then the name is Indiana Jones. It's my favorite franchise, so can't go wrong.
It's fine. Like you
All
said, I
on
don't have
Netflix.
much to say on it. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's all on Netflix probably when this drops.
Oh.
So check it out if you haven't seen it.
Definitely. Give them a watch. They're not bad movies, just not my cup of tea. So I really don't have anything else to say on it, but I do have something to say about my number 2, which is Saving Private Ryan. Completely different than the first 3 on my list. This is all drama. It's a war movie. I was raised on war movies. My father is a veteran, did 21 years in the Army, and is a military history guy. He's got a master's degree in military history, and so I grew up with war movies. And me and him actually went and saw Saving Private Ryan in theaters, and it was an event. It was a very, very intense movie. That opening sequence there on the beaches of Normandy during Operation Overlord, what most people call D-Day, was absolutely stunning. And again, it's got Tom Hanks. Like I said, I could watch Tom Hanks sit in a chair for 2 hours. I think he's one of the world's best actors. He really is. And so yeah, between being raised with an appreciation for war movies and Tom Hanks, Saving Private Ryan is a great Steven Spielberg film that I love watching. And yeah, it does. It makes my list at number 2. I think it's wonderfully acted, wonderfully shot, and just damn near perfectly executed for a war movie.
I dig it. Love the opening sequence. Obviously, like all war movies have been aspiring to that since then. No one's touched it. I feel like not a Dunkirk, not Hacksaw Ridge. None of them have quite captured that extreme chaos.
Yeah.
Even and yeah, I mean, what can you say besides that? Except for Vin Diesel was also in it.
Yeah, Vin Diesel was also in it.
So
and Giovanni Ribisi does a great job as the medic and has one of the most horrible death scenes. As far as like heart-wrenching death scenes. Yeah, wonderful movie. Very violent, not necessarily for the young kids, but definitely something everybody should see. It's kind of up there with like Schindler's List and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Before we get into our number ones, go ahead and let you guys know to make sure to hit that like button, the thumbs up, share and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the LRM YouTube channel so that way you can see all the wonderful things that we put up here, like our sister series, I'd Buy That for $1, LRM Ranks It, of course, all the great interviews from Gig. And don't forget to hit the bell so that way you can be alerted whenever we publish new product. Don't forget to go and check out lrmonline.com as well for all of your entertainment news needs. Nick, tell us what is your number 1 favorite of all time Steven Spielberg film?
My number 1 favorite, it should be no surprise based on my last choice, but Indiana Jones, it's not called that. Raiders of the Lost Ark, with the greatest character, Indiana Jones. And, well, here's my arc, too. I got my arc and my fertility idol. But
okay.
And I'm wearing the hat. But it's just spectacular. Yeah, Harrison Ford is the greatest actor, not Tom Hanks. So, got that.
I said
going
one
for
of,
it.
or did I say the greatest?
No, you said one of the greatest. Well, Harrison Ford is the greatest. So
okay.
Anyway, it's got even if you haven't seen it, you know it. You've seen a lot of scenes from it in like The Simpsons or any kind of pop culture, whether it's the guy getting killed by the blade because Indy kind of fights dirty, or the rolling boulder. Who hasn't seen the rolling boulder in some parody?
Yeah, diving under the door and reaching for something, and
and like Star Wars, it's just kind of a like groundbreaking genre type film where it was shot as a B movie, like really quick, like just capturing stuff. It wasn't like the same effort you put into another movie, and yet it's spectacular. It works. It's a great example of the 8 sequence format, which is like every 20 minutes there's almost a new mini adventure within the movie, and it just builds. It has a great cast. I think it's Spielberg's masterpiece.
Outstanding. Again, I don't have much to say
Good
on it. I
choice.
recently rewatched Raiders to see if it would have grown on me over time, but it didn't. Still okay movie. I can watch if somebody else is watching it, but not my thing. But yeah, my number one is Jurassic Park. I think it is part the nostalgia as a kid. Of course, I loved dinosaurs as a little boy. I didn't get to see it in theaters as a little kid, man. I don't remember exactly what happened. We were living in California. Didn't get a chance to see it in theaters. Had to wait forever for it to come out on tape, on VHS, because movies didn't hit. Nowadays, movies hit within like 4 to 6 months from theaters to Blu-ray. And back in the day, man, it took a year almost for things to get out of theaters and get onto home video. And but once it did, man, I wore my Jurassic Park tape out. It's definitely one of the first DVDs I purchased, and I've got the Blu-ray. I love the movie. It's great. Like I said, it's wonderfully done for suspension, wonderfully done for thrills. The animatronics hold up. The CGI that is there holds up. It's a blast of a film from beginning to end. Like I said, there's wonderful one-liners. My son plays Lego Jurassic World, and
Nice.
it's got all four of the first one, the first three Jurassic Park and Jurassic World as playable games. And the other day I caught my son just randomly saying, you didn't say the magic word. You didn't say the magic, like just out of nowhere. So I loved it. He likes Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. It's great. Beautiful Steven Spielberg stuff. So absolutely.
Absolutely.
Any last words on Spielberg before we wrap this up?
I'd like to see him do more movies like these, but I know he's in a different part in his career now.
Yeah,
But I wish we
definitely.
were getting. I mean, Ready Player One's obviously a recent one.
Exactly.
And he might
So,
make Indiana
we'll
Jones
see what he
4.
gets.
They're not even in pre-production. They don't even have a script yet, but they have
Yeah.
a release date, so we'll see. But I mean, 5. There already was a 4.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Can we ignore 4?
Well, it's got its moments. So no.
Well, there you guys have it. There you folks have it. It is our top 5 Steven Spielberg films. Be sure to check out the day after this is published. LRM Ranks It comes out on YouTube on Tuesdays. The following day, Wednesdays, we actually have an LRM Ranks It podcast. Unlike before, where we just took the audio from the videos, we're going to go much more in depth about our appreciation for these 5 films from Steven Spielberg. And it's a little bit more relaxed of a setting. It's a lot of fun. So make sure you check out the LRM Ranks It podcasts on Wednesdays. Nick, where can everybody find you at online?
At LRM_Nick on Twitter. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong about any of these choices, or have a conversation with me about any of these movies. Let me convince you to watch Raiders. And then I write Breaking Geek for LRMonline.com, and sometimes Kyle contributes to that. And I love to contribute to this. So I buy that for $1 in Los Fanboys. I'm all over the place. You can't get rid of me.
Absolutely. And you guys can find me at that Kyle Malone on Twitter. I also write the Cantina, a wonderful, and yes, I'm tooting my own horn here, a wonderful Star Wars column every week on Thursdays. You guys got a lot of stuff to check out at LRMonline.com and the LRM YouTube page. There's something brand new every day besides the news, columns, and videos. Just go and check it out. Share us with your friends. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Hey, everybody. Did you like what you just watched? Do you want to see more? Check out the other great videos available here on the LRM Online YouTube channel. Also, go check out our website, lrmonline.com, to see all the great stories that we publish every day.